Cassie Smedile is with us, RNC Deputy Communications Chair. Cassie, look, we saw they loved him in New Orleans at the football game last night, but tonight he goes to Wisconsin. And in that state, very politically important state, he trails in the polls against all the leading Democrats. What do you make of that?
Well, but don't bury the lead on that. The recent Fox News poll had that lead amongst the Democrats shrinking significantly. And what we make of that is the more people see the president, the more people see the results of the president compared to the rhetoric of the far left Democrats, the more they like Donald Trump and the more they're willing to give him 4 more years. I
think the rally is in Milwaukee. Can you tell me if they're lining up already? I imagine they are.
Yeah, in fact, I just saw a tweet from Erin Perini from the campaign that the first in line yesterday at 10 a.m., the first women in line. And this happened. This is their 10th rally for the people who are first in line. And we see that over and over. You and I have talked about this before. This isn't a blip. These aren't first timers just checking things out like we saw in 2015 and 2016. These are people who not only are return rally goers, but they're volunteers. They are now investors. Some of our greatest small dollar donors are coming from these rallies. This is a movement that Democrats can't compete with. And to be sure, Stuart, we have the ground game in place in Wisconsin and battleground states across the country to make sure that when we see this enthusiasm from volunteers on the ground, we know how to activate them and turn them into voters.
No enthusiasm from the media. I'm sure you've seen this study from the Media Research Center. They looked at ABC, CBS, NBC, their evening newscasts in the 100 days since the impeachment began. 93% of the coverage was negative. Only 1% of the coverage was on the economy. I mean, just look at that. Yeah, you're fighting the entire media.
Yes, and certainly it's not because there's not enough to talk about on the economy. There's lots of good news in the economy, but this is why you see President Trump going out, holding these rallies, or going straight to the national championship game. He can't count on the media to help proclaim the good news for him. He has to go directly to the American people. We found that he spends 80% of his time at rallies talking about the economy because no one else will.
Well, look, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I've got it on the screen now. 849 minutes on impeachment. 9 minutes on trade and the economy. That's ridiculous.
Well, it is, and it's a pronounced bias because we know that voters perennially, the economy is among their top 1 or 2 issues. So the fact that the media would ignore the will of voters and viewers, quite frankly, by going ahead with their own desired topics and bias, it shows why their ratings are frankly as low as they are and trust in the media is as low as it is.
We're doing okay. Cassie, thanks for joining us. We'll see you again soon. Kind of facetious there, you know. All right.